so why not I should build it. Ways to be creative. Be mindful of lightening. So for instance now, okay, let me use an example because I think in the room we have some techie people here. So for instance now you're creating a website and the first thing you look in your design is your colors. If you have a dark background, then yes, you should use a light text, light color of text. If you have a dark background, then if you have a light background, that's something like white, then you should have a dark, black, brown, etc. Then you have the foam board can make an affordable background. Just something very easy, something that your lighting, maybe when you have a flash on your phone or something, like when you snap, the light will not actually maybe just scatter away, not actually bouncing on that product. It should like bounce on it so that your customers will see all the angles of that product. Then you have your tripod provides an extra stable shot. Your tripod is actually having these 3 stands, which actually supports your phone to have a very good caption of your product. So now remix of your own asset. So look at it before she just snapped the picture like exactly how it was before. Just the apples are there and the carton just straightforward. So after using an app, not necessary, you don't have to be like a guru in Photoshop. You can just download apps. We have so many apps that can take care of that. So when you just download an app, you just write the text. So people will feel like maybe is it attached to it or something. They'll just feel like it's actually very catchy. So now we have just a bowl here. So the bowl like it's just plain, nothing. So let's see how so many apps play around with it. So you can see how super cool it is with different editors. So now we have the pop-up plus. If you look at this picture, she's just having a plain background with just herself with a dress. Yes, she's trying to advertise the dress, but the background is kind of plain. Why not you should have something that will like make the customers actually stay? So you have a bunch of editors as well as online. Then you can just play around, crop her shape out, then and put on the background you need. Then the carousel. The carousel is actually like a rotate, something that rotates, something that goes and come back. You get it? Like something that when you post, you have so many. So okay, for instance, now in a layman language, you just have this something like a rotating thing for children when they are playing, like they'll just go around and come back again.
Like a slideshow.
Yes.
Like a slideshow.
Exactly, yes, something like a slideshow. So this that's exactly a carousel as well. So you just take your post on and off like you have it multiple times. So I'll hand over to Murtala now to continue from where I stopped. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I actually want to make a comment about the word carousel she was trying to explain. Actually, carousel is like a rotating machine being designed in parks where you see children sit and it keep going round and round. So there's actually imitation of those kind of things. Since we're using object-oriented programming, we are imitating the real world objects and building software that does that. So it actually makes sense for me to stay here, watching the children going round. After I've seen this guy, I don't know this guy is coming around. So you can actually do the same thing using your product online. So that's why the idea of carousel is also embedded in so many products. Okay, so this is another scenario, but which I don't want to make use of this scenario. I want to use my own case study. I'm once a GDG lead. I organize events. In the beginning, I always find it very, very difficult to get people in my community to be part of it. You know, getting the good guys that develop softwares is not easy. Everybody prefers in Nigeria to just be in one corner of his room, just sitting, coding, without being networking with other, let's say, software developers. That's very, very common in Nigeria. So when I learned programming then, I was like the only guy in my area that studies on Java. So I have so many ideas, I can't implement it alone. So that has been eating me so much that I want to network with other people. There was a time I'm taking a course in university on Android. I actually went to a school I did, which is NIT. They put it boldly in their billboard that, yeah, they take Android classes. So I have this problem when I'm doing my project. I went there, okay, I'm looking for the Android instructor so that he can put me through. But in the real sense, they told me they haven't started. They are just planning on doing it. So those kind of things always happen in my country. So yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Your community
Yes.
not
Every
country.
Fire.
country has their own. Yes. So I now found about GGGs where developers come together as a community to share and learn other things. So I started in GGG in my community. At first, we call up for meeting, we talk, we would just use WhatsApp, talk, people will say, yeah, I'll come. People will not show up. So, and every day those people are on social media. I was always trying to find a way to see how can I bring those things? How can I bring those people to come on board and be interactive and we can also meet physically? So I decided, okay, let me use other, let's say, social media platforms like Twitter. At first, when I start going to Twitter to make some posts, you always see all this media content that, wow, for other DJs, because it's a global community. When you see other posts, I will say, what kind of image is it? How do you do it? I will like download it. If you check my laptop, every year, if we're having like a global event, you see several series of, let's say, content or images of that same particular event because it's a global campaign of other communities. I was trying to imitate them. I'm not good with graphics, so I will always use my current draw, do some jargons and post it. And actually, I myself actually feel bad. So I now later, so that's it. If I can see it, then assuming I'm not the one that designed it, and I just saw it somewhere, say, this guy is not serious. So that's how it works. So I now later find out that those guys use some other like technical softwares because I do connect with them. Hey, I saw your post. What kind of software do you use? So I can say you should make Google your best friend. Yes, make it your best friend. Whenever you are looking for something, just Google there, search, and get it. So you have been on Instagram and you want to increase, like in my own case, I actually wanted to increase my networking. Like I wanted to connect with more people. Yeah. So if you want to make or reach out to more people or more audience, you should actually try. Okay, let's say you want to use content to do that, which we know content is the king, as somebody says, that drives everything. So for you to do that, always make search. Always make search. You can get other good softwares that might not work in your country, but some features might not actually suit you. So it's very okay for you to take what goes with your own, or let me say what works with you best. Okay, this is my case study scenario. They use the layout, and the layout has like a 4 quadrant where if you snap a picture, go to next slide please. When you snap a picture, you can actually use a phone to do that because it's an application that is based on smartphones. Once you snap the, let me say, picture you want to take, you put it in the software or application or service, and it has 4 quadrants which you can make a twist up to 90 degrees, depending on how you want it, and it's going to generate this kind of eyes-catching image that can actually catch your audience in just 3 seconds. Next. This is another case study. Some of you must have seen this. And for those that haven't seen this or have seen it for the first time, they use another tool to do that, which is the Boomerang. You go next. So let's actually see how the Boomerang works. This software can actually make your content look as if it has been done in a kind of high level, or let me say high budgeted stuff like that. like you use a high budget or sophisticated material to do
That's
the content, which you can do with just a little basic handset tools to do that. Okay, go next. Okay, what are the techniques, the production techniques on these guys, or let me say the tools that they use? You can download the Boomerang. This picture can use Boomerang. You can use a paper, snap the picture, make use of the editor and remove all the backgrounds, put your background, make some writing contents that will catch so many audience. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Go next. These are the case study where she's the founder here trying to like. Okay, another tool you can use here is the let me see, is it yeah, I can't remember this software. Yeah, VidLab. So this they use VidLab to do these videos, like sorry, these images. These are initial images, let me just say, that they use in sending let me say pushing content to their audience. And like somebody was giving an example with this. Like his friend push a content and it's been there for a while, let's say 1 month, 2 months, and that content has been there for like let me say 1 month, and nothing is happening on his own page. And he tried to like redesign the content and push it back. And in 1 day he got like 2 people ordering that stuff. So it's same thing those guys do. They have this content, and you can actually use other software to redefine it. You must not actually change the whole content. You can use your previous content and make some changes, and it will attract more audience on your page. Question? Yeah.
Yes, so the results are amazing with these apps like Legend and VidLab. How much do they cost?
Well, most of them are free, but I believe there are some paid version of them. Maybe some features might be hidden. If you actually need those features, you can take on them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, go next. So these are other examples of applications that can do cool stuff. Alright, let's see. Another one. This is another example of another application that can do stuff. This, okay, let me talk about this slide. This, like, let me see how to put it. If you use softwares to design your content, which is very good, you can actually increase your what? You can increase your pre-orders, or let me say you can reduce your CPL. And what do you mean by CPL? Is that cost per lead? If you push content, you have your budget on, let me say, in boosting your application. The time that it will take, they are going to charge you more. Assuming you are targeting 1,000 people to review your content. And because your content is not that eye-catching, it takes so many people to review it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So it will take you longer days for people to make review on that content. But if your content are so great, then your cost of revenue, let me say, the revenue you are going to waste on that particular, it will reduce by 50%. So that is very good for you to like make your content very eye-catching, very authentic. Go next. Okay, this is a video. I think we've played this video. Let's watch the other one. These are other shots from Photoshop. Okay, we might skip this because I believe most of us have used one way or another. We have used image editing software because we like taking pictures. I believe before we come here, so many of us must have snapped so many pictures. Even though yesterday that we came here, we did the same thing. So getting those things done is not something big deal. We will actually try it a demo after this session because time constraint are that big thing. So I will leave my other colleague to carry on.
Thank you very much. You know, every deck has an objective, and it will not be right for us to just come talk, show you all the tools, and at the end of the day, we can't even tell if you have takeaways, if the objective of the deck has been met. So my session will be to recap and to find out how much we've been able to learn from the first group and then from this group. So I'll be asking you a couple of questions. Now, the objective of this deck, the model, is to, first of all, understand the importance of creating engaging and content for your audience. Now, I will ask you, what qualifies as a thumb-stopping content for you? Now, you have people scrolling feeds, and then suddenly something catches you, and then you click, or you stop. What will make you stop? I'll start with this table. Anybody would like to tell me what?
Great visuals.
Great visuals. Great visuals. So the key word for that, I'll say, is attractive. That means that content must be attractive. I'm trying to establish a rule of thumb here, because that means your content, or the content, must be attractive, because great visual, it has caught your attention. Attractive. Table 2. What will qualify, or what will make you stop and then maybe click on the content? Text. Text on the video. Now, when you say text, in what way? Because we've established one, attractive. Okay. Okay. Now, do we all agree? We say that means that text is relevant?
Yes.
Because if it wasn't relevant, it wouldn't stop.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Relevant. So we agree? We all agree? So number 2, it must be relevant. It must be attractive. It must also be relevant. Now, table number 3.
It has to be inspiring.
Inspiring. Okay, that means we can now say that that content must be engaging. Because if it inspires you, it will prompt you to take action. So it must be engaging. So now, 3. Rule of thumb, as far as I'm concerned, the content must be attractive, the content must be relevant, and the content must be engaging. Do we all agree? So now, this is what I'll say. Use this as a yardstick for every post, every content you develop. Look at it from the perspective of a user. Will be based on my target audience. Will this attract my target audience? Will this be relevant to my target audience? And also, will this content be engaging? Now, if it meets these 3 criteria, trust me, you've done well. Even if it meets 2, you've done well. But if it meets 3, you're good to go. So, understand that if you must create engaging, must create interesting content, relevant content, then you must have at the back of your mind that it must be attractive, eye-catching, it must be relevant, which means it must be informative, and then it must be inspiring and engaging. The next thing the objective is we have is learn about available tools to create content on your mobile phones. Now, during this session, I know we've heard about several tools. Can anybody give me an example of some of the tools? Legend, I know that's the most, for me too, that's the best. And during the course, during our lab. Okay, good. But there are a couple of others that we didn't cover in the deck on this model. For instance, we have other ones as well, quite simple, especially to use. We mentioned a couple of apps that will help you fine-tune images, videos, and stuff like that. Pick up the pen because you will have to write this down. Write some of this down. It's key and it's important. We have Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. It's free. Adobe. It's one. That's the name. It's by Adobe. Now you know Adobe. Okay. It's called. Yes. It's an app. It's on iPhone. It's on Android. Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. Now what it does, it helps you to enhance images. It enhances your image. It's like using the Photoshop on your smartphone. For those who are into create photography and graphics designers, you know how you could manipulate images with Adobe Photoshop to give it some aesthetics. Now you could do this with your smartphone to enhance the image. And also we have, write it down again because this is quite important. It was not, we didn't cover it on the deck, on the module, but it's important. We also have Adobe Photoshop Fix. Free. It's free. What this does, it helps you to remove certain spots, especially for those of you who like selfie, the ladies in the house. You could take out pimples, dark spots, and stuff like that. Not just ladies, pardon me, not just ladies, everybody. I mean, that's on the face, and even on images. For instance, you could take a picture of this guy, and he has a little stain on his shirt. You could use that to quickly. Yeah, for sure. Adobe, it's called Adobe Photoshop Fix. And we also have Adobe Photoshop Spark Post, which is similar to what PicLab does, which will now inscribe text, embossed text on your image, like we saw on one of the slides. Spark Post. All right. So these are a couple of tools, aside the ones that we've shown to you, that you could also